Well, good morning and that. This is no disrespect to Murray State. I'm filming this a little bit early. It's 56-7, I think, with 9 minutes to go. But just like the crowd at Sanford Stadium, as you can tell from the shot there, I've seen enough. 56-7, Georgia over Murray State, about 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They pulled the starters in this game in the second quarter. Some people are going to look at Fromm's numbers and say, here we go again with the 160 yards thing. Listen, normally I'd be the first one to do that. It's not warranted in this case. Now, the first quarter started off aggravating to me, with same old passing game thing, 2 swing passes, that kind of thing. But let's give Georgia and the coaching staff and the decision makers, whoever's calling plays, I don't know if it's James Coley or Kirby Smart or a combination of the two, and Fromm and these receivers some credit. The second quarter, especially the second half of the second quarter, that is what I have been waiting to see. Not that I didn't think we could do it, but let's be real, we got a team full of receivers who have never done it before at the University of Georgia, outside of Tyler Simmons. I don't need to remind anyone that our leading returning receiver this year is DeAndre Swift. Yes, running back DeAndre Swift. The only other person on the team with any meaningful catches coming into this season was Tyler Simmons. So we got wide receivers who just needed some game action, and I felt like we let an opportunity get away last week against Vandy, and that's what sort of disappointed me about that game. They looked good there. That one drive, Pickens laid out and made that catch, and then they rewarded him a couple days later with a pass in the corner of the end zone. I want to see some of that in every game. I feel like Georgia needs to steadily, ramp up their passing game because these players are just very unexperienced. And even though Fromm has a ton of experience, not a lot of experience with these wide receivers. So Eli Wolf had a couple of, in fact, Eli Wolf and George Pickens were the 2 leading receivers. At least they are with 9 minutes to go in the game here. DeAndre Swift, 11 yards per carry. Zamir White, 9.5, 10 yards a carry. So again, the ground game, exactly what you would expect against an inferior opponent like this. And really, we can do that against just about anybody we play. There's only a handful of teams in America who can even slow down Georgia's ground game, much less attempt to stop it. But there is going to come a time when someone figures out in a game how to slow it down, or for whatever reason, it's just not clicking. And for that reason, we need to be working on the passing game. And it looked great when we decided to use it today. So I'm not going to get on here with one of those videos and complain about the passing game here. Georgia dominated this game from start to finish. They put Stetson Bennett in there. I've been trying to tell Georgia fans, I had a Georgia fan on Twitter. I really wish I could remember who it was because I wanted to go back and tell him good morning about an hour ago. But he tried to tell me a couple of weeks ago that he's not worried about Fromm going down because we have Stetson Bennett and he's just as good. Now, the potato level to even... I don't even see how anybody could type that with a straight face, but he did, and he was dead serious. And, it's exactly what I've been telling anybody that will listen about, I'm knocking stuff over out here for no reason. I'm not even mad. It's just exactly what I've been telling people about Stetson Bennett. I mean, I don't have anything against Stetson Bennett, but there was a reason he wasn't offered any scholarships out of high school. There was a reason he was at Georgia as a walk-on in 2017 and then chose to leave the program after getting next to no playing time. There was a reason he had to go the JUCO route after he left instead of getting picked up by another big-name team. Nobody wanted him. And there's a reason that while he was at that junior college school last year, he led America in interceptions. He's just not a college-level quarterback. He's just not. So, yes, if Fromm goes down, we are royally screwed. The season would be over, period. Any chances Georgia had of doing anything in December or any time after that, this season would be completely gone if Fromm went down. Stetson Bennett's just not the answer. He throws the interception. Prior to that, I think it was his second play or something. He tried to throw an interception, but luckily the Murray State guy had hands like feet and dropped it. But again, so it's nothing against Stetson Bennett. He just doesn't have the talent to lead Georgia's off. He just doesn't have it. So I hope that's clear now after, I'm glad he's coming in and he's made some good plays and he's had a touchdown pass or two. So, I'm glad to see those things. I'm happy for Stetson Bennett. I don't have anything against him personally, but, anybody that thought, like, Fromm goes down, we put Stetson Bennett, won't miss a beat. I just don't know what you're talking about. But great game for Georgia here. No injuries that I'm aware of, which is the main thing when you go into one of these games, right? You don't want to go into one of these games and come out with anybody injured. So, of course, Isaiah Wilson was injured during the week practice going into this game. So he didn't play, so we had to shuffle it around there. Jamari Sawyer got a lot of playing time today. It was good to see. I've liked him a lot since we signed him back in the 2017 class. So good to see him get in there. But, it played good. There's nothing really for me to complain about. We pressured the quarterback all day long, had the quarterback running for his life. I don't know how many sacks we have, but it was a lot. Probably the most sacks we've had in a game in at least since 2017. There has to be more sacks than we had in any game last year. We were just pitiful in sacking the quarterback last year, dead last in the SEC. I know it's Murray State, but again, we played several Murray States last year and didn't get this number of sacks. So appears to me to sack the quarterback pressure off the edge, especially a lot better. Nolan Smith's going to be absolutely unblockable next year. I mean, he's working his way there now, quick this year. As soon as he figures out the college game and speed and all that kind of stuff, he's going to be an absolute nightmare for opposing teams. Who's going to make the season's over list tomorrow? Man, I don't know. No major upsets today. Man, Syracuse really looked bad. Second best team in the ACC. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, hey, they may be. They may be. That's how bad the ACC is. Second best team here. What is this? Georgia just scored again. Who is that? McIntosh? Yeah, Georgia just scored again. Anyway, they may be the second best team in the ACC. Syracuse got beat by about the 8th best team in the Big Ten. Not only got beat, absolutely road graded. Man, the ACC really taking some bad losses, aren't they? Yeah. Man, maybe shouldn't spend so much time talking about the SEC's losses. Speaking of bad losses, Texas A&M, this just in, no offense. And why is Kellen Mond still in this game? Man, they are beating Kellen Mond up. He's going to be in the infirmary next week. They are just Texas A&M just can't do anything offensively. Defensively, I think they played pretty well. Listen, you say, well, they gave up 24 points. Their offense can hardly get a first down. So, I mean, that's what happens to a defense when the offense is just that bad. And they are in this game. They're just that bad. APB, too. Put a lookout. We need to find this person. We're looking for Trevor Lawrence, the 2018 version. Has anyone seen him? No one's seen him this year. That much I can tell you. 24-3, congratulations. Second week in a row, Trevor Lawrence can't hit the broadside of a barn. Can't hit the ocean from the beach, to be honest. He's gotten saved multiple times in this game by amazing catches by Clemson wide receivers, which is the same thing we saw last week against Georgia Tech. That and the combination of Texas A&M defenders just not even turning around to look for the ball. I mean, Trevor Lawrence throwing into double and triple coverage, the ball sailing right by the ear hole of these Texas A&M defenders, not even turning around and looking for it. I'm a Trevor Lawrence fan. I'm not knocking Trevor Lawrence. I've liked Trevor Lawrence in 9th grade. I mean, from the state of Georgia. I still think he's a great quarterback, but even the Tater fans have to be scratching their head wondering where is the Trevor Lawrence from last season, because 2 games into this season so far, and he just hasn't been sharp or crisp in either game. His throws are off, overthrows, underthrows, missing receivers off to the left or the right. A lot of receivers having to reach back to catch balls, that kind of thing. Just doesn't look like the Trevor Lawrence we saw last year. Probably because they had to quit giving him the juice. Man, these people show up to Clemson, they start juicing them up immediately, don't they? Yeah, and they come out and look really, really good. Get busted at the end of last year for juicing them up. So now they're afraid to do it, and the results are what they are. The guy just not as good as he was last year. Again, that's no hate on Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence. But it is what it is. But yeah, so some teams making this season overs list without a question. Nebraska and Colorado are probably the best game of the day so far. Maryland, man, where'd they come from? Should have listened to that guy that calls in McD Sports. Tried to tell us Maryland was good. Syracuse, though, can't get over it. Second best team in the ACC gets absolutely gorilla stomped by the 8th or 9th best team in the Big Ten. Man, unreal. Great games coming up tonight, though. Obviously, Texas LSU. And listen, if you don't have to be a BYU or a Tennessee fan or whatever. If you're not excited about this BYU-Tennessee game, you haven't been paying attention. If Tennessee somehow loses that game, my God, the wheels are going to completely fall off in Knoxville. I mean, it is going to be the entertainment level, both on this channel and just in the college football world in general. The entertainment that emanates from Knoxville over the next week, if Tennessee somehow loses to the Bicycle Bandits, the Mormons tonight, BYU is going to be absolutely unbelievable. I'll be watching that game tonight, BYU, Tennessee, of course, LSU, Texas. I think the Miami, North Carolina game is going to be an interesting one. I think that's going to be a close game. Several good games on. Even some good games on late, the 10:30 game, Southern Cal and Stanford. Two backup quarterbacks in that game. Both starting quarterbacks got hurt last week. Neither one of them playing today. And then Jacob Eason and Washington take on Cal in a Pac-12 matchup, also at 10:30. So we'll see if Eason can match his performance from last week, which was amazing. Was 350 yards, 5 touchdowns, something like that. I'll be streaming all the nighttime games tonight, but that's going to be on the Patreon page. I know a lot of you probably joined us for the stream on YouTube earlier today. I streamed on YouTube from about 3 o'clock to about 7 o'clock. So we streamed during all the afternoon games. We got to watch all those. I'm going to do the same thing tonight, but that's going to be on the Patreon page. So if you're watching the LSU-Texas game, the BYU-Tennessee game, the Miami or North Carolina game, whatever game you're watching, Oklahoma, whatever game you're watching during that 7, 8 o'clock time period tonight, if you're a Patreon member, be sure to check out the Patreon page. The link will be posted on the Patreon page literally right after I'm done filming this video. If you're not on the Patreon page yet and you want to be, just click the link in the description of this video that says support the channel, and it'll take you to the Patreon page. Get yourself signed up and hang out with us and watch some football. We have a good time on the Patreon stream because there's not nearly as many people in that stream as there is when I stream on YouTube, so I'm able to interact more on a one-on-one basis. I'm able to see pretty much all the comments that come in on a Patreon stream, so it's a lot more personal over there. So anyway, I'll see some of you tonight on that Patreon stream. The rest of you, I'll see you in the morning for that. Your season is over. Don't worry, Uncle Lou will definitely be able to find 3 or 4 teams to put on there. Have a good morning.